That game was not holly, it was not jolly, it was not merry, and it was not bright. It was quite sad, in fact, but we'll talk about it. So thank you all so much for tuning into the PHNX Coyotes Postgame Show presented by Four Peaks. Sports aren't the same without a Four Peaks in hand, as Craig can attest to right now. He literally has a Four Peaks in hand, and so does Petey. So don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey and Craig. We got Danielle behind the scenes. Coyotes snap their 4-game winning streak and lose to the Colorado Avalanche 4-1. Who wants to start?
I feel like I should say something because I might not get a chance to speak for the next 30 minutes.
That's true.
Petey's ready to blow. So, I mean, they went 1-1 on this 2-game road trip. Perspective is important, but there were some things that they didn't do well tonight. Several things they didn't do well tonight, but it all focuses around one common theme, doesn't it, Petey?
Defending? Okay, here's the deal. Okay, you want me to go? It's time to go. Okay, you are going up against one of the top teams in the Western Conference. Fair? Yes. On the road? Absolutely. The number one thing you have to do is defend. Like, if you don't spend your whole meeting saying we have to stop their top line, we have to be above their speed, we have to stay out of the penalty box, we can't turn the puck over, period. That's the end of the meeting. And then walk out. You know, this is one of those games you have to try to win 1-0. You go into the mindset, they go, hey, we're going to defend, and we're going to try to win 1-0. The defending and the defensive zone coverage for this team, personally, I haven't liked it for 3 years. Craig can attest to that. I've complained about it for years. Tonight, it is so bad. It is so bad when you see, first of all, we'll go goal by goal. And by the way, the diehards, this is the time to be a diehard because tomorrow, buddy, this is going on a Petey's Puck Talk because I'm out of my mind. Nick Schmaltz is going for a change in the neutral zone, and watch him straight-legged go to the bench. Nathan MacKinnon's line's on the ice. Where the hell are you going? You cannot make a change in the neutral zone when the puck is coming toward you. You cannot change. You can't. You got to stand. I don't care how tired you are. Stay out there. Because as soon as you leave, now it's a 5-on-4 against some of the best players in the National Hockey League. That's horrific. You cannot do it. 5 seconds later, the puck's in the net. Yeah, and it wasn't all Schmaltz because on that same goal, it's also Kerfoot. It's also Keller. And the defending on this team, where are they going? On one of the plays in the offensive zone, and we've talked about the Harlem Globetrotter shit with the Keller and Schmaltz line where they crisscross at the blue line and everybody's all cool in the offensive zone. Dumba's in front of the net. Kesselring dives in. It's Schmaltz and Keller at the blue line against the Colorado Avalanche. What are you doing? They turn the puck over at the blue line. Pucks come back the other way and they score. Everybody said, oh, Kesselring should have had it. Well, Kesselring is at the net. Like, stop that shit. And defending, they have no idea where they're going in the defensive zone. I don't care if this is an attacking, swarming defense. They don't know. They really don't know where they're going because there are players open all over the ice. It is just horrific. You start from the net front, you defend the net front, and you work your way out. That's how you defend in the defensive zone. That's it. Don't worry about a guy climbing the zone by the boards to the blue line. Doesn't have the puck. Let him go. Defend the front of the net. It is just horrible. And here's what I'm going to say. And I'm caught up in the hype of playoffs. This is the playoffs for the Coyotes. This is it. This is it. You sneak in as a second wild card, and you have to play a team like this. You have to lock it down defensively. Have to. Or you're going to get blown out like they did in 2020. You're going to lose 7-2, and you're going to go home after 4 days and go, oh, we've got to play for an extra 6 days. It's not good enough. And if you want to compete with the best in the league, you better start in the defensive zone. Okay. And good night, everybody. That was it for PD.
Wow. First of all, watching you rant while wearing a Santa hat and the little ball like moving while you were ranting. That was A+ stuff, Petey.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to dominate the airwaves, but I'm just really frustrated. Because
No.
the mantra has to be, and like here's a funny story. The team Poland used to have to play Team Canada in the Olympics. Canada's better than Poland. So it was called the Polish defense. You put 5 guys in front of your net and you just wait. And you do the best you can and try to survive it. That's Polish defending. It was kind of a joke, but it's just you put 5 guys in front of your net and defend and pray that you get an offensive opportunity on a breakaway on a block shot or something. Coyotes didn't play like that. And clearly this wasn't their best effort, but starts with defending. You defend first and worry about the offense later, and that just didn't happen.
Petey, do you know who Krampus is?
I do. Do I look that bad?
Well, I mean, you could have worn a different hat tonight. I feel like you should meet whatever Coyotes actually returned to Arizona tonight at the airport and stick him in a bag and then beat him with a stick like Krampus did.
Go there. Should I go there like in a Grinch suit or something? I'm not against it.
Petey's at the top of the hill, like the Coyotes' defense.
Okay, can we
boy.
start our Christmas celebrations yet, Leah? No.
Yeah. Well, Petey, Craig and I had our Christmas show yesterday. We had a great time. You weren't there.
I listened and watched, and I saw Craig's background. I didn't know he was. I was buying into the whole European skiing vacation, and then all of a sudden, like the commercials started floating. Go, hey, what the hell? Free
Max
ads.
texted me after the show.
Max
like, Max, you're fired.
Go watch the show. It's so good.
It is really funny. It's really
all
funny.
Right. Well, all 3 of us are drinking. It's one of those nights. So Petey already went on his defensive zone rant. Let's take a look at the numbers presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. If you look at the numbers and like cover the score, you can't really tell it's a loss. Shots were even, 25-25. Coyotes were 1 for 3 on the power play. Avs were 0 for 2. However, one of the goals came just seconds after their power play expired. So it might as well have been a power play goal. Avs had the slight edge in face-off, and then shot attempts were 40-39 Avs. Super, super even. So if you just looked at the stats, you're not really seeing a 4-1 game.
Yeah. And by the way, did you see who was on the power play late?
Yeah.
Michael Carcone.
Oh, and did they score?
They did.
Huh.
Got a puck to the net.
Huh.
Petey, maybe you've been ranting about wanting to see Carcone on the power play long enough. Maybe if you just keep ranting about defensive zone coverage, then they'll make a change.
It's moments like this.
You got to speak it into existence.
I know. I am frustrated.
You should do a walking and talking with Mario Duhamel.
I should. Maybe can't say it. But here's the thing, and this is where the frustration gets on being, and I'm not gonna lie, I might have had a few 4 peaks tonight. So this is where the frustration is on this side of the mic, is because on the other side of the mic, you can go at guys tonight and go, what are you doing? Like you think you can help and make a difference, and some of these things, like the Carcone on the power play thing, like really, like I don't know if I'm not a rocket scientist. He's your leading scorer on the team. He's a great shot, and he's not on the power play. What? Like that is moderately common sense, I think. And the defending stuff, like you watch the film, and there's net front guys open on the opposing team in front of the net, in front of this goaltender for 3 years. It's not like I'm saying this from tonight, and tonight it's a one-off and they made mistakes. It's 3 seasons of watching them in front of the net, leaving players open on the opposing team. And it just, this team will never, ever hoist a Stanley Cup or go long in the playoffs until they can defend the front of the net. And I don't care how good they do. I don't care how far you climb in the standings. I don't even care if you finish first in the division. If you go into the playoffs and you cannot defend the front of the net, you won't win. And we saw the teams that win the Stanley Cup and put the medal over their head. It's because they defend the blue paint. And this team has to change the way they defend. Period. They have to change their system. And I'm going to preach that until the cows come home, because they don't defend well enough. And I'm sorry to those that are thinking I'm out of my mind, and I might be, but they have to defend better. It's just
in fairness. So
yeah, I am. But defending wins championships. It just does.
Yeah. Do you have water, Petey?
No.
I want to know
for what?
Well, I mean, it's important to hydrate when you're drinking as much as we are tonight. So
yeah, I'm here at home and I'm safe. I've got nowhere to go. It's holiday starts tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. Well, the Coyotes up until tonight had found some offensive success to potentially either offset whatever defensive breakdowns they had, or, you know, the goalies have been hot. And it wasn't Connor Ingram's best night, but it wasn't all his fault. He stopped 21 of 25 tonight. Some of them were just ridiculous plays from the Avs, but, you know, I guess he didn't make those key saves that you look to when a goalie has that huge night and you think, oh my gosh, like he saved the game. Connor Ingram didn't have that tonight.
Yeah, and I wanted to the stats. I put together the stats of Connor Ingram's past 6 games. Remember when we were talking about him in the Vezina conversation?
I do. It was very recent.
About him. Sorry, Emily Benjamin, for coming out late and catching him on the downslope. In his past 6 games, Connor Ingram has faced 150 shots. He's made 131 saves.
Ooh.
That's an .873 save percentage over his past 6 games.
Yeah, that's not good enough.
Nope. No, and like Leah said, there were a lot of good chances tonight, but you need your goalie to make some big saves. I don't feel like he's been making the big saves.
Yeah, I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack. I don't think he's playing at the pace that he was during the 5-game winning streak, without a doubt. And that's for his last 2 starts. And you saw him get pulled in the last game. I felt like his team has to support him a little bit better, but you're right. During the 5-game winning streak, he was making those saves, and this might have been a 2-1 game if he was playing like it was during that streak. Clearly, I'm not going to blame this on the goaltending, but no, you're right. And it's funny though, Craig. You and I sat in the warming house at the ice den, and Andre Tourigny said during the streak that Ingram was having, he said, "Hey, Vejmelka is going to have that streak next, and Ingram's going to tail off." And that's exactly what's happened. Right now, the hotter goalie is Karel Vejmelka, and he's 3 wins in a row, and now he's the guy. So he's clearly coming back on the first start after the Christmas break. It's going to be Karel Vejmelka, and does that make the difference? I mean, he's as dialed in as I've seen him this entire season. So maybe that makes a difference. We'll see.
Maybe only one Coyotes goalie can be good at a time. They can't both be good.
Exactly.
It's like Petey and the Mullet Magician are never in the same space at the same time.
It's true.
It's crazy. I haven't seen him though.
There's a balance to the universe.
He went on Christmas break early because of the road game. So I think he's already taken off. I don't know where he's from.
We might be able to get the 2 of you together. I think it's going to happen.
I do too. I believe it.
I also do.
Before I go on, Leah, and I'm sure you have work to do. If there's anybody that's an audio-visual tech out there right now, I need help with my other microphone. I'm just struggling. Please come help me. I just switched to my backup set again. There's 2 shows in a row.
All PD wants for Christmas is a new
mic. It is.
Leah, I know you need to move on to another segment of the show, but I want to make sure before we move on that there's not defensive coverage 3.0 coming from PD. Is there anything else you want to say?
I promise I'm done.
No,
I will. I swear, Craig, it's coming out for the diehards. Like okay. It's Christmas Eve day tomorrow. F it. I'm working. Someone has to post it because I don't know how. But when I get up in the morning, first thing I'm doing is a diehard only video breakdown of tonight. It's true. So
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will have great vibes and have no anger in it whatsoever. Because that's what you do, PD.
No, I'm sure he knows that. It's Wiley. He said the first thing you're doing in the morning is not putting together that video.
It's true. It's true. How was the pregame? By the way, how was the pregame show at DNVR that I missed? I'm driving. I'm watching my son play hockey, and we'll get to that later. But I get a text from Leah. Are you almost here? And I'm like, almost where? Like where? Like almost where? I didn't know where.
We had a little box set aside for you on DNVR.
Am I almost where? It was funny. Sorry, I missed that.
Oh boy. Yeah. Nicholas said After Dark vibes are beginning and I'm here for it. And this isn't even the After Dark game. This is a normal, it's not even 10 o'clock yet. Okay. Let me steer us along. There were some positives in tonight's game. Lawson Crouse, I felt, had a very strong game. He had an insanely nifty, skilled move, I think, in the first period, where if he scored, it would have been a highlight goal for sure. He had some big hits. He had a fight with Miles Wood. And for all of those reasons, Lawson Crouse is tonight's desert dog. He's got legit Lawson Crouse has that desert dog in him. Like that has never meant as much as it does tonight. 3 shots on goal, 1 fight. Crazy to see Lawson Crouse drop the gloves, and he was chucking him too.
He was. That's the thing. Like Tyson was saying, both guys were landing hits, and I was watching that fight. And I was like, Miles Wood's hits aren't connecting. All of Lawson Crouse's hits aren't connecting. And then they had a quick shot of Miles Wood in the penalty box, and he was like this, just grimacing. Because
does my jaw still work?
Lawson Crouse does not fight very often. And it's almost like you remember when Mark Messier did not fight very much, but when he fought, you're like, oh my God, that's why no one fights him. That's what I was thinking tonight watching Lawson Crouse, because wow.
Yeah, that's what you want to see out of Lawson Crouse, to be honest. I mean, we've talked about the size of this kid for a long time, and his ability to create offenses there. He can shoot, and he does a lot of things really well, but you don't always see that physical side of him. And when you see him, like this was something you want to see more often from Lawson Crouse. Let's see if we can get him to be a little bit more upset, to have a little chip on his shoulder. So I think this was a good thing, and maybe we see that more down the second half for the Coyotes.
Yeah, unfortunately, the reason he was upset with Miles Wood is because Miles Wood had a big hit on JJ Mosier in the corner. Fortunately, JJ Mosier was slow to get up, left the game, and did not return. And it's said to be an upper body injury. Obviously, we don't really know anything more than that, but that would be a huge, huge loss for the Coyotes if he was out long term. I know Valimaki's been sitting out, so he can come back in if needed. But when you look at the Coyotes defense, you look at JJ Mosier and Sean Durzi as those top guys, and hopefully he doesn't miss much time, if any.
Amen to that. It looked like he took his shoulder to the head, and I don't want to speculate that that's what it is because there was nothing further that came out, but you can't lose JJ Mosier. He's probably the best defenseman on this team. You can't lose JJ Mosier.
No, and I agree. And one of the things you hope for, Craig, and you talked, it's a game that's already 3-0. You're going into a 3-day break, and you go, okay, maybe let's shut him down tonight. Let's not put him back out on the ice, and let's hope that's the situation. It's not an injury that's going to keep him out for a while, and it's a precautionary move. And you know what? Let's just wait. Yeah, so let's just wait.
Yeah. Riley Riles, our friend in Alaska, said, just want to say you guys make the losses easier to deal with. Hope everyone has a great holiday, and I look forward to more PHNX after Christmas. Thank you so much, Riley. That really means a lot. I'm glad that we can make losses easier to deal with, but so does Four Peaks. As you can see by 2 of the 3 hosts currently drinking Four Peaks, and the only reason I am not is because I am completely out of it in my house. I need to go restock. But yeah, this show is presented by Four Peaks, and even if it wasn't, it would be presented by Four Peaks because we've needed a couple to get through this one. Okay, there you go. Oh boy. And if you're going to a holiday party or you're going to a Christmas dinner and you need to bring something, bring a case of Four Peaks. I promise you'll be a crowd favorite. So you can check out Four Peaks wherever you buy beer. And as always, I recommend swinging by the 8th Street Pub, not Pug. You can visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite brewery tours and events. Check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. And don't do this while you're having some Four Peaks, but if you're looking around at your room thinking it's time for some new flooring, maybe you decide it while you're drinking, and then the next day when you're sober, you put the pedal to the metal and pull the trigger and contact Empire and get those new floors. The best part about Empire is the quality of the product, how easy it is to shop. You don't have to walk into one of those overwhelming stores. You can do it right from the comfort of your own home. And they have amazing customer service. That is the number one thing when you are getting anything done to your home, is great quality customer service. So if you've been going back and forth whether or not it's time to make a move on your flooring, or there's somebody in your life who's been going back and forth, tell them to check out Empire. You check out Empire, and it's a great time to do so because you can schedule a free in-home estimate today. And right now, all listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details. All right. It's time to talk bigger picture. It's officially the Christmas break, which I can't believe we're already here. Just for some context, At 33 games right now, the Coyotes record is 17-14-2. After 33 games last season, the Coyotes record was 12-16-5. So already a huge improvement over last season, which honestly, when we looked at the beginning, that's all we wanted was an improvement from last year to this. Now we're in a position where the Coyotes have been kind of steadily in a wild card spot for a while. So we've been talking playoffs, and I know, what happens when they get there, that's a different story. But let's take a look at the wild card race. Last season, we were looking at the bottom of the standings in the lottery. Right now, we're looking at the wild card race. And it wasn't a great night for the Coyotes in the wild card, except for today. Everything was set up to be great. Nashville blew a 1-goal lead. They were up 2-1 in the final 15 seconds. Dallas comes back and scores 2 goals. Hockey is crazy. I love it so much. And as Craig found this random stat, the Stars are the first team in regular season history to score a game-tying and go-ahead goal in the final 15 seconds of regulation. How's that for a nugget? Crazy. So that's earlier today, and you look ahead and you think the Coyotes have games in hand on the Predators. If they win tonight, they can pass Nashville. The stage was set.
And then
what happened?
Scene.
The Wild win tonight against Boston. They're now within 2 points of the Coyotes and have a game in hand. St. Louis storms back against the Blackhawks and wins, I think 7-5 was the final score. And now they're right on the Coyotes' heels. So it could have gone from the Coyotes going into the Christmas break in the first wild card to the Coyotes sitting in the second wild card with a bunch of teams like right there. There is not a huge drop off.
Yeah.
No,
Go ahead, Petey.
No, the interesting thing to me though is that we're at the Christmas break, and this is American Christmas, by the way. The Vancouver Canucks are leading the Western Conference right now, and if any of us had that on our bingo card, you're lying. Because this is amazing to me. They're tied with the Vegas Golden Knights right now. You look at Dallas and Colorado are right behind them, 3 points behind them. And those are the 4 teams they're elite in the Western Conference right now. I think those are the 4 teams that are a step ahead. And I'm surprised to say the Winnipeg Jets. Like, where did the Winnipeg Jets come from? That's one of the teams I thought would fall once Kyle Connor got hurt. And I thought that the Coyotes might be able to approach them for third in the Central and be battling it out. But, man, Winnipeg has played well without Kyle Connor. And they're taking a step forward. And LA is a step forward. So now, I tell you what, that wild card race in the West is going to be fun. I mean, it's St. Louis, it's Minnesota. And people keep saying Edmonton. Man, Edmonton has to jump over.
Let's take a look. We have the standings.
You do?
Let's pull them up. Yeah. So,
look where Edmonton is. Like, they have to jump over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams just to get into the, like, it's not just the points now. And that's where people go, well, they're only a few points up. Yeah, they got to jump over 5 teams.
They do have a couple games in hand, though. So
yeah, that's true. And if they win those games after, and they started on this Eastern trip where they went and played New York, New Jersey, and Islanders, they won 2 out of 3. They come back after Christmas. They go right back on a plane and go down to the Southwest and play the 3 California teams, which are winnable games. They can get 2 out of 3 there, and then look out, they might be right back in it.
Now, Calgary's in action right now against LA. They're losing 4-2 at the second intermission, so they could stay put there. And Vancouver is beating San Jose 5-3. Petey, the crazy thing, you mentioned Vancouver earlier. Vancouver could have the best record in the NHL going into the Christmas break if they hang on and win this game against the Sharks.
That's insane.
It is
insane. And then can we stop saying that at that point that Rick Tocchet can't coach? Yeah,
thank you. He's
just saying.
I wrote this today in our roundtable. He's got talent. He never had this talent in Tampa or Arizona. He's got some talent to work with.
Exactly.
Well, despite this position that the Coyotes are in, that they're not as secure in the wild card at the Christmas break as maybe we wanted them to be. We mentioned this the other night, but it's worth reiterating because Craig reached out to NHL Stats. We always talk about U.S. Thanksgiving as the big cutoff and teams making it, but there's a really interesting stat for Christmas Eve. So Danielle, if we can pull up the stat. Since 1979-80, which is when the NHL introduced the 16-team playoff, 528 of 624 teams, which is 84.6%, clinched a postseason berth after finding themselves in a playoff spot as of December 24th.
That's a big percentage. It's a really big percentage. Obviously, it's not perfect, but that's a big percentage. So give yourself a good chance.
Yeah, and to even think we're talking about it right now after all we've,
Thank you.
as we've been through on this side of the microphone with PHNX and
Mhm.
thinking at December, Christmas time, we're talking about the Coyotes in a playoff spot. Like, yeah, I think they're ahead of the rebuild, and even as frustrated as I am, I think this is a great step forward into what they want to be under Bill Armstrong.
Keep
Yeah.
that in mind as we head into the Christmas break. I know everybody wanted another win tonight to jump into that first wild card spot. Can't win them all. This is better than I expected from this team.
Whose cat was that, Leah?
It's mine. I told you at 10, right after 10, she'd come in here meowing. I was right. Oh man. Yeah. We've been very upset tonight, but again, it's all about taking a step forward, and that's what the Coyotes have done. And this was the way that they lost this game, I think, was the most frustrating part. If this was like a 3-2, they pulled the goalie in the final minute and lost, that's a different sort of loss. It's the fact that the Coyotes were essentially shut out until the final 4 minutes. And it just, honestly, I thought they looked pretty good in the first period. Besides giving up that one goal, it was a really good road period. I thought if they played the rest of the game that way, it would be fine. But then it just was what it was.
Sorry, distracted by Petey.
Petey
chugging his beer.
Yeah, got to start the next one. And that's why you look at the first period and you go, okay, maybe like they did the right things for that period. It was a really good road period. They had offensive chances. They had shots on net. If not for that penalty, and they give up the goal at the end of the penalty, but still, it's 1-0 after one, and you go, okay, goaltending's playing well. You're getting offensive chances, and it just fell apart. And this is like when you're playing the Edmonton Oilers. There was one mission. It's to stop Connor McDavid. Tonight, right now, their best player by a country mile is Nathan MacKinnon. And it's just when he's on the ice, you better be aware.
Is an 18-game point streak good?
Yeah.
He's not a bad player. He's not a bad player.
He's a physical player, too. That's the other side of it. I thought somebody probably should have answered him a little bit tonight because he was running amok a little bit. But
running amok. You said that in our text, amok. Is that a word?
And I spelled it correctly too.
Say that word over and over again in your head after about 6 or 7 beers. Amok, and it literally doesn't make sense.
Is that you saying it in your head after 6 or 7 beers?
I read it on the text and I got into a loop. It was a whole thing.
Oh my Lord!
That's the thing that separates him from other players of that skill level. He's a bull.
It's his size. It is his size because his speed. McDavid is as fast, if not faster. The one thing about Nathan MacKinnon, he is a huge man with his size to move that fast, and he can get grumpy. Like he can throw that body around. He can change the game differently than McDavid. McDavid can't be as physical as MacKinnon. MacKinnon, when he is on, he is as dominating of a player as there is in this league. The one difference with him is I'm not convinced that he has the hockey IQ that Connor McDavid does. I think with MacKinnon, it's more instinctual, it's more speed, it's more grit than it is, hey, I need to be here. And I don't think he overthinks the game very much. I don't think he's a guy that hey, I need to be in this spot to have this happen. It's just go, like a dog, bone, 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 a squirrel. Like he's just, I think that's more how he plays hockey, and it's effective for him. I just don't know if he has the same IQ as a Connor McDavid.
Nicholas said Nathan running a MacKinnon.
Oh, see what he did there? That's brilliant, actually.
That's good. Well, the Avs might have Nathan MacKinnon, but the Coyotes have Alex Kerfoot, who we gave him flowers the other night, but he does score the Coyotes' lone goal off a Michael Carcone shot. Carcone almost scored his 15th of the season. Kerfoot gets his 4th of the season, now has goals in back-to-back games, and they said on the broadcast the stat that's his Kerfoot's 5th power play point of the season, whereas before, over the last 2 seasons, he only had 4 power play points over 2 seasons and now has 5 this year alone. So I know we've talked a lot about Alex Kerfoot, but I did just want to acknowledge, because the Coyotes did score tonight, it wasn't all bad, except it sort of was.
I'll have to crack that Toronto power play unit, I guess. But it's funny, right? Like when you think about I think, Leah, you mentioned it when we were on with Rudo. in the pregame show today, how different he was viewed in Toronto. So much of it can be role and fit and comfort. It's crazy how a player can go from one team to another. And obviously the Coyotes don't have the high-end skill that the Toronto Maple Leafs do, but he's enjoying so much success here. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's just the role, if he just built up some confidence, but he looks like a different player than he did with the Leafs last season.
Yeah, but you got to look at the guy, and we talk about his core strength is his speed and his ability to keep up with pace. But we talked about the intelligence and hockey IQ of Nathan MacKinnon. Kerfoot's his hockey IQ is fantastic, and I think that's one of the things that allows him to separate himself. And hey, face it, he's a smaller guy. Like, he's a small statured guy, but he plays so smart at that pace, and his experience and his veteran leadership. Like, he's been much better than I expected him to be here. Like, I thought he'd be a role player and he'd fit in and he'd eat his minutes and he'd be fine. But he's been much better than I expected here.
Well, Petey, he did go to Harvard.
Oh my God! I bet you he's
Did he go to
bougie like
Exeter?
Craig too.
No, of course not. A little more selective.
Petey just cracked open another one. How many do you have on the side?
You got a down six-pack on the show tonight?
Buddy, I'm prepared. That's what I do.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, the Coyotes obviously have a few days off. Coyotes obviously have a few days off here for the break, but they'll have their chance to avenge Colorado on Wednesday. So not much to see, but let's just take a glance at the upcoming schedule. Colorado coming in to Mullet Arena on Wednesday. They have to fly in day of the game, and then they head to Anaheim for a road game. By the way, 2 Michigan goals scored tonight, Connor Bedard and Trevor Zegras. Insane. So Coyotes have a chance to avenge the loss at Mullet and then head to Anaheim after the new year. Then they'll have a huge homestand, which we saw what happened the last time the Coyotes had a homestand. So, hope is not all lost.
Nope. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And imagine if we're here at the All-Star break talking about the same thing. Oh, the Coyotes have like a 2-point lead for the final wildcard spot. You just get closer and closer and closer. It's crazy. It's just crazy to think about. It's fun to at least see this team playing meaningful games. And that was the goal. That was the goal at the start of the season. If they're there at the All-Star break, it's going to be a fun ride after we come out of it down the stretch.
Yeah, and I don't want to be too hard on this team. Like, we talk about the frustration of tonight and the defending, but to be where they are right now.
That was just you, Petey. That was just you.
It was just me. But to be where they are at the Christmas break, this is a real positive, and they're taking steps forwards from where they, like, 2 short seasons ago, this team was awful. Like, awful. And now you go 2 years later and you go, you know what? They're right there. So this is a huge step forward, and I want the fan base to go, okay, we're going the right direction. This is a positive. We're at Christmas time in 2023, and we're close. Like, if they make the playoffs, great. If they don't, that's okay. They're going the right direction. This is a great step forward, and there's so many good positive things coming down the line in both the prospects and the draft picks that are coming up ahead that I think people that are Coyotes fans should be excited. I really, really believe that. And I don't want to leave this show on Christmas with a negative thought because you lost 4-1 to a really good Colorado Avalanche team. You should be positive and look to the future for this team.
There you go. What a day of sports. We had NHL, we had NFL, college bowl games, college basketball, so much. And all of it are things you can bet on. Over at BetMGM, another full day of NFL tomorrow on Christmas Eve. And of course, the World Juniors are here. The preliminary games are already underway, but the tournament really kicks off the day after Christmas. So all of that is available to bet on over at BetMGM. So if you haven't signed up yet, use the bonus code PHNX when you do and place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile application of at least $10. And if that bet loses, your bonus bet will be available once your initial wager is settled. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
I don't know who was watching a video during that, but we could hear you.
No, I heard that. I didn't do a thing. That was the same thing that happened last time we played that video.
Really?
I swear. It's a
weird.
It's not me.
Maybe Shane recorded it in a wind tunnel. I don't know.
It's new.
I just wanted to call one of you out. Okay. Anyway, if you're looking for something to do, if you're on holiday break from work, check out Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Take a little staycation. That's a great holiday gift, by the way, a staycation. Swing by the casinos, great restaurants in there as well. And check out Wild Horse Pass. I've been there. Phenomenal casino, amazing restaurants. They have the BetMGM Sportsbook in there. So just so much to do. Check it out. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathgila.com for more details. Okay, I want to take us on a positive note, and I'm going to do that because we're going to go down the I-10 for just a few minutes. And just, we've been talking about the Coyotes at the holiday mark. So let's talk about the Roadrunners at the holiday mark, who won their game tonight 4-3 and are now 17-8-1 for second place in the Pacific Division, which that is a really tough division. We were kind of following them along last season. They were always, hovering around 5-6. So to be where they are right now, it's huge. Dylan Guenther leads the team in points, 8 goals, 17 assists, 25 points. Josh Doan leads the team in goals, 12 goals, 5 assists, 17 points. And Victor Soderstrom leads defensemen in points, 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points. So want to give a shout out to the Tucson Roadrunners who are having themselves a season. You see guys getting recalled and sent down literally every single week, and they haven't missed a beat. And it's really, really great also to see the top prospects developing and succeeding down there, because that's what you want to see from your top prospects in the American Hockey League.
What do you think Costco's favorite moment was of this road trip?
Buddy, that is the best nickname in the franchise right now is Kirkland Costco.
Yeah. Shout out to Tucson, though. By the way, we have talked about getting down there for another show. I feel like we're due. I feel like Tucson's having a hell of a season.
I promise we'll make it happen.
But this is part of what we said coming into the season. You talked about Guenther, you talked about Doan, you talked about some of the pieces they have down there, and it's like, oh, why aren't we calling up Guenther? And you know what?
My gosh.
Let him be down there. Let him be successful down there. Let them be successful. And this is how teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning, this is how they became Stanley Cup champions, is they won in the American League. Let these guys grow together. Let Doan and Guenther find that chemistry, be teammates and friends. And when they get here, you go, oh gosh, these guys, they've already got it together. So I'm thrilled that when you're calling up people, you good there, Craig? You get Sanford in the lineup, and people are going, why are we not calling up Doan? And because they want to
do something on the Discord for that. Can we do something? Can we just give some demerit anytime they say call up Guenther or Doan?
Stop it.
You get a demerit. Stop it. Stop talking about it.
Yes. They stop it, because you look at a Zach Sanford play 10 minutes tonight.
I almost had a scoring chance tonight, by the way.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that tomorrow on the video. It's not the scoring chance; it's something else. But you'll see if you're in the diehard. But what? So you want Dylan Guenther to come up here and play 9 minutes? Well, what good's that going to do? He's not going to be on either power play. No, let him be down there and let him be the guy. And especially if this team gets into important games later in the season, and you're talking playoff games, that is huge for these guys' development. Like huge, unreplaceable. Like when we talk about Butte, we talk about Shimashev, and if these guys could get some playoff experience, that's when this team is going to be the team that we're like, oh wow, they're there. That's 2-3 years away yet. So let them be successful down there. I'm ready to go to Tucson. If we can go to Illegal Pete's, I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
I also want to remind people, it's not all about the games down there, too. That's a big part of it, right? He's playing a lot of minutes, a lot of different situations. All of that matters. There's a lot of off-ice stuff that they get to do in the AHL too, because they don't play as many games because the schedule isn't crazy. So they have all these skill days, this off ice stuff that they do. All of that is important. Let him develop. Stop asking for the recall. He's not going to come up for like 2 weeks and then get sent down. That doesn't make any sense. It just screws up the entire development path. Seriously, just stop asking about it. They're not coming up, and it's dumb to call them up. It's the wrong decision to call them up. So stop.
I was trying to be cheerful when I brought up the Roadrunners.
I know.
We are all in a ranting mood tonight.
I'm done.
We'll find positives, Leah. That was positive. Can I bring up some positives from this game? You know who I really liked
There were
tonight?
positives?
Do you know who I liked?
Who?
I liked Logan Cooley.
Mm.
And I know when you look at the score sheet, you're gonna go, "Oh, really, Petey? You liked him? He was -1 and he played 14 minutes." But you know what he did tonight? For me, it's those little things you look for. Is his speed tonight? He didn't. When Cooley, I don't want to say he looks afraid, but he looks timid and tentative, and he's back on his heels and he slows down. Today was one of the few games where I saw him moving forward, and I saw his play on his toes, and he seemed to play faster. And I know there were just some little glimpses and a few shifts where I saw him skating. You could really see his skill level and his speed is there, and I'm just waiting for him to break out of that. So for me, Logan Cooley, bright spot tonight, absolutely. And even though it was small, it was that he was on his toes instead of his heels. So I continue to want to watch him break free and be better offensively. So that was a bright spot for me.
Well, I'll have a positive to think about too. Getting back to your Tucson discussion. Two guys that we're going to get to watch in the World Juniors who are going to play a major role for Canada, Connor Geekie and Maverick Lamoureux. I'm excited to see both of those guys in Tucson next season. Now, we'll see if one of them can bypass it, but imagine putting both of those guys down there next season, one step away. Now you're really starting to see it all come. You really see it close.
That's what you can't forget. Like you talk about the guys that we were just talking about Gunther and Doan. Well, what about Geekie? What is that? Like, where is that coming from?
Whoa.
That was like a demon. I don't know.
Just like you all of a sudden your audio went slow motion.
Who, me?
Oh.
Yes.
It was really cool. I don't know what it was, but you talk about Lamoureux and you talk about Geeky, and you see those guys in the World Juniors, then you see the guys down there, and then you see the guys over in Russia, and you go, oh my goodness, these are like, that is 6 really, 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 really good players, and they're coming. So you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but I know the frustrations I have tonight. You have to think they're already ahead of where you wanted to be now, and the guys that are coming up the pipeline that are coming in the next 2 years, good grief. Like, as long as Bill Armstrong can make, I don't know, if he hits on one of the next 3 or 4 draft picks, like he's got so many. If you even hit on a few, man,
Yeah.
I
14 in the first 2 rounds of the next 3 drafts.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Before we wrap up
Wait, buddy, we've got so much more to talk about.
Do we?
Cut him off. Danielle, cut him.
Well, the irony is I'm not cutting Petey off. I want him to tell us about his time at the Ice Den today, the reason why he missed the DNVR Avalanche pregame show.
Yes. But you have to read ads. Do that first. You have to read
ads.
No,
I want to hear about the Ice Den.
Okay, so I went to the Ice Den because I will say this. We'll talk about my son in his high school alumni game. But I ran into a former Coyote plate in the lobby of the Ice Den. Like literally physically bumped into this young man in the lobby of the Ice Den, crowded. Craig, you know how it gets. Does Craig know who I bumped into yet? Have you told him, Leah? I told Leah. I ran into former Coyote forward Phil Kessel.
Really? Yeah, I knew he was here because he had dinner with Jacob Chikrin and Nick Schmaltz and Clayton Keller the other night.
He is here, and let me tell you about Phil Kessel. He was at the Ice Den in a momentous, one of those moments as a parent that you cherish for the rest of your life. It was his daughter's first time on the ice tonight.
Wow.
At the Ice Den in Scottsdale. So I thought maybe I'll take a selfie with him. And I said, you know what? Probably not appropriate. Let him enjoy this time with his child. So that was really cool. But we did get an opportunity to talk about what the future for Phil Kessel looks like. And you know what? He's a guy that wants to play. He wants to play. He's skating all the time. Phil looks good. He looks physically fit. He says he's skating all the time. He's ready to play, and he's a guy that's frustrated that he can't get a chance in the National Hockey League right now. And he still thinks that he's got something left to prove, and he still thinks he can play, and he still thinks he can score. He doesn't see himself necessarily. Is he a top 3? Is he a top 6? And he goes, I'm okay being a bottom 6. He said that. I'm okay. I'm okay being a bottom 6. I just want to play. I think I can help a team score. I think I can help a team on the power play. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes over the next few weeks, if anything can happen, because, teams are looking, and he's a guy that wants to contribute and play. And he said, I put up points with the Stanley Cup champion last season. I think I can still play. So it was good to hear him be that excited about it. And you know what? People talk about Phil as being a strange guy. He's not. He's a good guy. He's a good teammate. People really like him. And if he says he can play and help a team win, yeah, I'm going to believe him for now. So, 1, let him enjoy the night with his daughter and her first time on the ice. But 2, I'm rooting for Phil Kessel, and I hope to see him back in the National Hockey League.
I'm the same. That's the thing with Phil. Like, you're right about the rep. Anytime I talk to Phil, and granted, he didn't like talking to media. Sometimes he tried to slip out the door without you seeing him. But anytime Phil talked, he was great. He was just great. So, yeah, hopefully he gets a crack at it.
And then secondly, Danielle, I hope you're ready and still awake. I'm going to put up a picture, because what I want to say, this is me and my son Jackson, and we're at the Ice Den in Scottsdale. And I will say his old high school, Pinnacle High School, my son's in his mid-20s. He is way out of high school. But what they do here at Pinnacle is, if you played there, you get to go back for a Christmas tournament, and you get to play with all your old high school teammates. They had 86 kids playing from Pinnacle High School today. There were guys in their 30s with their family and kids watching, and there were kids that are 18, 19 playing. And guess what? All get to play for free. It's all part of what Pinnacle does to build the future programs. They can say, hey, the kids that are playing now, this is what you look forward to. And I couldn't be more proud to be a part of that Pinnacle High School hockey program, because of what they do for high school hockey here in the state of Arizona. So my son scoreless in that 14-11 tilt tonight. He came out on the losing side of that, but I'm sure he had fun at 18 degrees post game. So big shout out to Pinnacle High School hockey over the Christmas break.
Buddy, he was wearing the C.
He does, and he was a captain his senior year. That's fun. They all got to wear their jerseys they wore when they played, and they've since changed their design 2 or 3 times. But to see my son wearing the C, his team actually won the 2017 state high school hockey championship here in Arizona, played in nationals, and he was a captain. And I won't say it was because of his goal scoring ability. Sorry, Jackson. My kid was a penalty killer, and he worked really hard on the defensive side.
And the leadership skills he learned from Heidi.
Yeah, not for me, buddy. Yeah, no. So it was a lot of fun, and one thing I got to say about hockey in Arizona, yeah, it's hockey in Arizona. Like there is people are so into this. Like when people say, "Oh, Arizona's not a hockey bull," go to the Ice Den, go look. This state loves their hockey, so I'm so glad I got to be a part of that today, and that was a lot of fun. So sorry I was late to not late. I didn't show up at the DNVR thing. Sorry.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's wrap up this one by pulling up the punch card presented by Arizona Lottery. Don't forget to get out and buy your holiday scratchers. They can never take the Triple Connect 4 away from us. The 4-game winning streak comes to an end, and another line is almost done. That line will actually finish perfectly with the year 2023, which is fun, despite Petey's protest against them being lines of 9. But that's the punch card. Again, looking every day more and more like a holiday scratcher, which I'm going to do right now.
Okay.
So it's time.
By the way, Leah, Heidi and I went to the grocery store today, bought so many Arizona Lottery scratcher tickets. We got them for our neighbors because we're going in there on Christmas Day. We got them for some other people in our neighborhood that did some stuff while we were out of town. Like we Arizona Lottery scratchered it right up. Easy to do. We tried one of those machines. Funny thing, my wife Heidi, is she's standing in front of the machine, and Heidi or Leah was talking about the machine where you can buy the Arizona scratchers. And there were people waiting behind her in line, and she's looking at me. Well, which one should we get? I guess, Heidi, turn around. Like, people are waiting. She's, oh my goodness, I didn't know.
There's so many choices, though. That's
oh
the
my gosh,
thing.
she went nuts. So she got a couple dollars for the kids, and then she did $10 for the parents. But we took care of everybody in our neighborhood. Totally easy with the Arizona Scratchers at the holidays.
Such a great gift, such a great
we
stocking
win?
stuffer. We did not win, but this was a $1 one. So, you know what? I'm confident that someone in my family will win because I got every single person 2 scratchers.
For
So
real?
you still, yeah,
Yeah, so
you
did I.
you still have time to go out and get your holiday scratchers. And you can buy them today. Find a retailer like our friends at Circle K near you at ArizonaLottery.com. You must be 21 or older to play. And speaking of Circle K, make sure next time you swing by, you are a part of the inner circle because there's so many perks to being part of the inner circle. 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, saved 3 cents per gallon, saved every day after that. 31 days of Circle K, free prizes, snacks, weekly entry into grand prizes. There's always something on the Circle K app, so you can join the inner circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. All right. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up? Craig is getting another phone call.
I know. Wiley, I know.
I know. Wiley,
no, it's 5 a.m. I'll remind him. He knows.
You don't think I'm going to be up at 5 a.m. walking that dog?
Okay.
You know I will.
Boots? I don't know. Do you have boots? That it might be a little wet outside.
So 5 a.m. I'm walking the dog. 6 a.m. I'm putting up a ranting video for the diehards.
6 a.m. 6 a.m. it's going up?
Well, no, because Leah.
It's not because I have to post it, and you think I'm up at 6?
No.
I will film it at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Either Leah.
I'm
not getting up early tomorrow. I may wake up.
If you're a diehard, tune in tomorrow because I'm ranting. And we're going to start with Nick Schmaltz's line change on the neutral zone. Sorry.
Who is?
Oh, boy. Again, one of the great perks
to being Jordan. Don't tell Jordan.
One of the great perks to becoming a diehard, you get access to all of the PD's Puck Talks that are for diehards only. You get access to the content on the site that's for diehards only. You get access to our Discord that's for diehards only, which is a great time during games. So become a diehard today. Give yourself that gift or give someone else the gift of becoming a diehard. You can also gift cards to PHNXlocker.com, which is a really good gift. And Petey, I'm so happy that you finally received your Arizona versus everybody crew neck because I know you've been waiting.
It's awesome.
Yep.
Oh, you can't see it because the mic's away, but it's really awesome.
You thought
it's awesome.
Like Danielle said how soft it was. She didn't lie.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that's it from us. We will be off the next 2 days for the holiday, but we'll be back on Tuesday at our regular time. What?
Margaret likes Kilt Lifter. She likes the crew neck, and she loves being a diehard. So all three things. That's a hat trick for Margaret.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Sorry.
All right. Well, we appreciate you all so much for being here, either live in the chat or watching later or listening later. Be sure to leave a thumbs up on this video. And if you're listening on audio, you can give us the gift of rating, reviewing, and subscribing wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Leah Merrill, at SPetersHockey, at Craig S. Morgan, and you can follow the show at PHNX_Coyotes. And be sure to subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. All of these things help and support us. But sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts, we wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a happy holiday, a happy day off, whatever it is that you're celebrating over these next couple of days. We are extremely grateful for you all and for this community. And we will see everybody next week. Cheers.
Happy holidays.
We all silly like the mayor.